talked to Loomis last week, and he said they have, what, 5 or 6 more lots sold already?
Really?
Yep, so they'll be doing, we'll be over 40 new homes this year, I think.
That's crazy. Yeah, it seems like it's just, you've been busy, Jay? I was gonna say, like,
There's nothing on the market.
That's what Dan Hartle a couple of weeks ago said there was one house on the market.
really?
And that was it.
The chamber meeting, they're like, how's the market going in Montgomery? There's one used inventory home, and it's still the same home to this day. And 2 that have come on since then, they'll win multiple offers right away. And aside from that, the other one's still.
Wait, no, there is one. There's one in Fisher Estates that's on the market. That just came on the market. Yeah, Tom, the ice cream guy, his place.
Yeah. And Prior Lake, they said they're still on into May already.
Or what?
They're still on into May for the new builds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, great. Like, yeah, don't plan on going anywhere. I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, they're punching, they just put a new street in. We did 3 houses on that. They're already punching another street in down the hill.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Oh, damn it.
Is there any paperwork?
Paperwork for what?
Is it all online now?
Yep.
Is it?
You need something printed? They can print something for you if you want.
Well, the agenda, just to look at it. It's like Jim and Janine, they said they were gonna be.
Yeah, I shot them
He was asking me, he said 8 o'clock, he said?
no, I told him 7
Oh,
o'clock.
that's what I told him too. I showed him the email and I was like, pretty sure it's 7. It's published right here.
Yeah, no, I definitely said 7. All right, let's get this out of the way.
You gonna be a lot of Zoom people or?
I don't know. We usually get 2 or 3. I think Joys of Abota will probably be can't talk. Will probably be on. So
You doing it for city council?
yes, she is.
Anyone challenging the mayor yet?
Filing is over, and nobody filed for mayor. Just Tom.
I was gonna say, if it's on.
Yeah, Tom's the only one that filed.
Guess he didn't order all those signs, huh?
So how does that work if somebody's on Zoom and we're here? I'm just kind of curious. Just hear them?
Yeah, so when the meeting starts, you'll have to make sure that your microphone is turned on, because then it'll come over the speakers and it should pick up on my computer.
Okay.
I can monitor
Also, they'll talk over the speakers.
you guys will. And then if they have a question here, I'll have my volume turned up. You'll be able to hear them if they ask a question. So, and if you can't, I'll just repeat the question. So, and I know that Liz, I don't know, but Liz Krochak might be attending as well. She turned in an application for, what am I thinking? split. All right, let me print. Do you need an agenda, Jake, or are you good? Okay.
You have a full agenda.
Well, yeah, we figured we'd do something.
Well, it is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to discuss on. My wife, she's like, is this gonna be like a 7+7 thing? I'm like, I mean, no, this is gonna be, you'll probably be in bed. Looked at it last week when it came out. Well, there's a few things to discuss, so.
Yeah, my kids asked me if we were playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight, and I said, yeah, I don't think so. Not unless you want to start after 9 o'clock. And I got one that lives in New York and one that's now down in Missouri. Yeah. I said, no, maybe we'll go Friday.
How much rain do we get around here? A lot there.
Today?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 2-3 tenths of an inch, not a whole lot. I mean, it rained, but there was more lightning and wind than there was anything else. Because up north, Tom was saying that they got about 6-7 inches over 2 days.
I probably like it's they're all day. Start raining probably around 9:30 and
Oh, shoot, I gotta go plug my machine into the server, otherwise I won't be able to. Damn it. Stupid server. Don't have a good wireless here, otherwise I'd be able to connect. Ah, gee whiz. Ugh. Oh, looks like it's gonna rain again. Let's see some dark clouds coming. Sheesh. Mr. Bezek, how are you? Connect again.
Two online or?
No, he'll be here. Gotta see if there's anybody that has asked to. No, Mr. Eisert will be online with us here. Vic, you'll have to be down here.
Okay.
The commissioner's up there, so you can either sit down here or over on that side.
Sit right here.
Anybody else need an agenda, or are you good? I don't know if Leah is gonna be here or not. She should be here.
Sit over here. Take your mask off.
Yeah. Why don't you breathe in on me, man? I don't know what kind of diseases you have. I don't know which ones I have either.
It's after the story, the first day I put a sweatshirt on since the last time. So I put a sweatshirt on, so it's raining, so I put my mask on, and I'm like, boy, any other time, there'd be no way they'd let me in.
Yeah, I know. So because we may have some people on Zoom, I need you guys to make sure you have your microphones on and that you talk into your microphone so it comes over the speaker and they should be able to hear it through the computer. Mr. Korea,
On the whole time.
the whole time. Just don't mumble under your breath because it might pick you up.
Okay, we'll get started. Call the August 12th Planning and Zoning Meeting Commission meeting ordered at 7:01. Let the roll call show that everybody is here. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We do not have any additions or deletions to the meeting.
Entertain a motion to approve said agenda. Got a motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. No public hearings today, so, any corrections to the minutes from the May meeting? Showing none, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Old business. Brian, you want to give us a little recap on that?
I will do my best to recap. So, as you're aware, we've had quite the housing boom this year. We've got 35 either permitted or in process right now. I talked with Scott Loomis, who's sort of the main builder in town, and he has at least 5, maybe 6 more lots sold. So they will be looking at starting 5 or 6 more houses this year. And so we should be over 40 for the year. When we first took a look at our inventory of houses or available lots at modest 10 houses per year, we were looking at about a 15-year supply of lots. Well, in the last 3 years, we've averaged almost 18 houses per year. This year being an extreme exception. So we're looking at maybe 5 years of supply at that 17 houses per year. Now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen going into 2021 and 2022 with possible recessions and things of that nature. But Jake probably has a better handle on what he thinks the housing market is. But if the interest rates stay as low as they are, then the chances of having a continued surge of housing, that's probably likely. So what we're sort of opening the discussion on, or would like the Planning Commission to begin looking at some discussion, would be where in the community would reasonably be placed additional subdivisions for housing units. Obviously, we've got Mr. and Mrs. Davidson in the audience tonight. They're submitting a sketch plan for 18 lots. So at least we've got that, and that's up in the Northridge area. So some of the things to take a look at, and the reason why you start talking about it now is because the time it takes to put a subdivision together is more than a few weeks, especially if it's in the township. You've got the annexation process, you've got the land acquisition process, and you've got the whole platting process. Once you have the area platted, then you got to build, the developer has to put all the infrastructure in, the roads, water, the sewer, all that kind of stuff. So you're looking at a couple of year process to get a subdivision ready before you can start building. So that's sort of the synopsis. We did include in the documentation for you sort of a big picture zoning map, so you can see sort of where the city limits are, where the areas outside the city that you might contemplate. Well, that might be an area to look at. Some areas might be better than others, and really evaluating what area in a township might be better than others is how easy is it to extend the utilities. That's one of the key components, is making sure that you can efficiently and effectively and cost effectively move water, sewer, stormwater, et cetera. The further away you are from the existing utilities, the more it's going to cost for a developer to put those in. So we've talked a little bit about orderly annexation. Just a brief summary of that is basically having a resolution in place with your bordering townships. In this case, it would be Lexington or Lanesburg and Montgomery. And you basically outline with the township, here's the parcels or the areas of your township we would be looking at annexing, and in what sort of sequence you would be looking to annex. And that way you avoid this up here and over there. It's orderly. That's why they call it orderly. And then maybe it's a 5, maybe it's a 10-year agreement that says over the next 10 years, we're going to take another 80 acres or 100 acres or whatever of township property going out. So you can target your growth and developers and things like that. So you can better focus where your growth is going to occur. So with that brief synopsis, that's what we're looking for the planning commission to at least begin discussions on. You're really not making solid decisions. You're just kind of talking about what you think would be the best approach to this.
So does the city engineer get involved with getting an idea of what, so let's say west of Juniper is a spot that I see that could be a potential addition to the city, or south of Barnett's developments, the 280-acre parcels or whatever they are, make sense, or west of or east of Pondview, where I used to live up there, just because they, for the most part, could connect to another development. Does the city engineer get involved and say, we just don't have the infrastructure to make that work, or give us ideas of what's better for sewer depths and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, the city engineer is involved when you get into a sort of a sketch plan or preliminary plat. We could probably, and Mick was involved in a lot of subdivisions in the early 2000s. I don't know what involvement the city engineer had ahead of time, but the water plant and the sewer plant were both sized for additional growth. I mean, we're sized so we can handle a whole lot more capacity. That the capacity at the plants isn't the issue. I think the bigger issue is the system going to be a gravity system, or is it going to have to be run with forced mains and lift stations and things like that? I know if you go east of the North Ridge and you go along that road to the east, there are issues going that direction, and that's why they didn't build the road out that far, because they ran into some real bad soil conditions in the road. And that's why there's a temporary lift station next to the lot that you used to live in. And that's been temporary for 17 years. I would anticipate that will continue to be a temporary lift station for the foreseeable future. But yes, the engineer would have to get involved and weigh in on the sewer line size and the water line size and things of that nature.
And I guess I bring up, is it something maybe we should go more proactive than reactive versus developer coming in and say, hey, I'm looking at this. We have some of that knowledge right away, so we can say, Mr. Developer, these are the issues we see, make sure you look into it, just to keep the process as smooth as possible.
Well, that's what this whole discussion is about. You're working on a proactive approach here to take a look at various areas. You talked about the North Ridge area. You've got dead ends there that you could run line to. On the Fisher addition continuing west, you've got a couple of dead ends there where you can probably connect in and continue to the west. Going south of Stone Ridge or Country Ridge, that might be a little bit more problematic just by the way that the development was designed. There's not a whole lot of streets that are sort of dead-ended that head south. So you got to kind of figure out how would you connect sanitary sewer or water to those areas. And I'm thinking specifically Stone Ridge, where there is nothing, coming in. I don't know how what the best way to connect into the sanitary would be, because it's kind of a closed system, or it appears to be at least.
I can wait for just Stu Kim. So back, it's probably in the 90s sometime, I think that's the dates, but there was a lot of projects going on here with all those developments that spoken, that was all farmland, and then within a matter of years, it all went into development. And one of the challenges too that I think is planning and zoning that we have to think about, sewer and water connections are extremely important, but is to kind of look at the transportation plan too, like the roads, and this might be a, you know, maybe it might be a 50-year build out plan, but so that connector roads and things are allowed for. And then the developments, what we found when we kind of went through this 20 years ago was, you know, developers don't want to put roads in, collector roads in, because they're expensive and who, you know, where does that cost? Who bears that cost? But I think, you know, a very important part of this planning should be to look at, you know, transportation issues and how do we, and maybe working with the county and how do we connect, you know, connect these systems together with the development. So I agree.
Well, and that's, you kind of got to, on that concept, you turn back to the comprehensive plan as well.
So what are you looking for today? Just discussion? Yeah, we agree with it. Maybe we should sit down and have a meeting dedicated just to this, or?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking for. We need we believe that the planning commission really needs to start having a fairly thorough, in-depth discussion on where you see growth and how you see growth going, and where and how you would see the next potential subdivision coming in.
So one thing I would chime in on all of this is that for the developer, it's going to come up to what is the most affordable piece for them, period, and how they get cost down. Because right now, development costs in other developments are looking at needing to sell at, say, a 3 lot per acre average in your development, that you're going to need to sell a lot for $80,000, which is not a Loomis home lot, which is the reason for all of the growth in our town. We almost need a 4 lots per acre, but with streets and everything included in that, gets really tight. And then you kind of with our lot size requirements, kind of got to these guys down, or you just have to have lots for a single family home and hope that the cost of building doesn't go up as incrementally, keep the price down. But what we would need is something from utilities on saying, hey, we already have this size pipe here for sewer and this size pipe here for water, knowing what each development's lift stations can handle, like what development can we tap into, what is the size of piping that they already have, and how much we environment. They have the developer doesn't know a lot.
home per acre basis, you're looking at, you can sell a lot for about, but that's the reality. The next development has to be simple infrastructure and you can't have a ton of bricks. I mean, Montgomery needs affordable, but yeah.
There's some flexibility on a planned unit development in the